You
Right.
can learn anything you want to know and you could do it yourself. So whatever you're interested in, whatever specific technique or strategy or business model you're interested in, you can learn that yourself. Where before salons had a larger responsibility, the stylists couldn't learn that on their own. They relied on the salon, the brand companies, the product companies to bring in this education for them and teach them. And I think that has changed.
And talk a little bit more on that, because I think sometimes we don't talk enough about how we're able to adapt, right? We have to be observant,
Yeah,
right? We have to
totally.
be willing. It might be hard, but you still need to be willing to go ahead and say, I'm seeing this observation, I'm hearing it from other people, and also I might need to make a change here. During that time, what was the hardest part for you? Was it more like the social media side that was
Yeah.
really hard to get used
You
to?
mean being like an old hairdresser who didn't have a cell phone and then having to figure out how to do all of the young person things? TikTok, that's the hardest.
Okay, there we go. There we go.
But I think that for me specifically, I really like learning. So
Okay.
even though I'm not like wanting to be a social media star and like running towards it full force, I do want to learn the tools that work. So I like knowing what's happening and I like knowing how we can use these tools to better ourselves and better our business.
Like that.
And I think that it is a open-minded way of thinking to just look around you and be like, well, what's happening? Like, what's the industry doing? How can I use these to better myself, better my salon, teach other people, and use the tools that we have available to us and just learn how to do it so that you're not left behind.
And the
Yeah.
tools change.
They do.
That's why it is important to communicate, to do research, and to look at it, because the tools change, your methods change, and your philosophies change on
Yeah.
stuff. One of the things I want to ask about more, going back to some of the pricing stuff, is how should people go ahead and set the precedent when it comes to pricing and letting their own clients know? Should they let them know beginning of the year? I've heard different philosophies. Hey, if you're going to do it, let them know. If you're going to do it at the end of the year, let them know in quarter three, so it gives them a couple months in advance. Or if you're going to do it at the very beginning of the upcoming new
Yeah.
year, let them know, a month in advance.
Sure.
Do you have like a theory or
I do.
okay.
Yes.
Awesome.
So what I teach in my course, I have a course called Pricing Isn't Personal, and
Love
I
it.
have an online course and I also have a group class that I teach, and it's the same material in both courses.
Okay, awesome.
But what I teach is to have regular increases and to make them small and normalize them for clients.
Okay.
So those three things. So when you do it regularly, you make this process normal. It's normal
Right.
for you and it's normal for your client. So you don't get into this space where you're like, oh my God, I haven't raised in 5 years and I'm so stressed out and I don't know how to do this. And you have all of these emotional roadblocks that you're trying to work through
Right.
to have this increase, where if you are doing it regularly, you don't have to have a conversation at all. Because let me ask you this, when have you gone to the store and they're like, okay, so I have to tell you, the price of your cereal has gone up.
No.
It doesn't happen,
Never,
right?
never.
In any other industry that you look around,
Nope,
it doesn't
doesn't.
happen where we're announcing these price
Right.
increases.
So it's
But
uncomfortable.
in our industry,
Right.
we feel like we need to announce it because we feel bad because our clients are our friends and I've been doing her forever and she's been so loyal and she's followed me from this salon to this salon to this salon, so I can't burden her with an increase. We have all of this stuff that makes it so difficult for us to raise these prices that we feel like we have to somehow announce it or make it okay for our client.
Right.
But I just don't think that you have to do that when you're doing it regularly. And I also think that especially these hairdressers that I teach that have been doing hair for a long time, when we get to this place where they're now organizing and setting up their prices to work towards a specific goal,
Right.
they might have some services that they are going to decide to increase more significantly than a little bit. And
makes
that
sense.
might warrant a conversation with a client, right?
Well, and that's why it's, especially nowadays, it's really important to go ahead and have some touch point, whether it's your email or SMS,
Yeah.
so you can let them know.
You can let them know,
Yeah.
but I like, if you do decide to tell your client about an increase, I really like a personal conversation. I think that the best way to do it is after they check out, you're going to do their service and charge them what you've always charged them.
Yep.
And then before you're leaving, you're just going to say, just so you know, for your next appointment, your service price is going to be this cost.
Yep.
And go ahead and rebook them and just move on. And don't apologize. Don't ever apologize for your pricing, and just have a really simple conversation. Or you can do the same thing in a text message, but just light, easy, not apologetic, not making a big deal of it.
Yep.
And the less of If you shine a spotlight on something, it gets noticed. So the less of a big spotlight you're putting on your prices, the easier it is for your clients to just go, oh, okay, they haven't raised in a while. This is normal, no big deal.
Yep.
And then we all move on. But once you do that, once you have that conversation and do that big jump, then the next year you need to raise it a little bit so that you can start this normalization process.
Well, it's so smart because what people don't account for, especially when you're running a business, is that the economy continues to flow on a national level, right? So as the economy is flowing and as the economy continues to grow year in and year out, right? Also, the pricing, right, also has to grow a little bit too, because like I think it was all last year, everyone was talking about the price of grocery stores, right? And just like when you go to the grocery store, easy math, if you're spending normally $100 last year, now it's $120, right? Well, that's exactly how we should be looking at our businesses and running it in that same way, because these store owners at grocery stores, they're accounting for just the normal inflation of the economy, right? But we don't go ahead and look at it the same way.
No, we don't look at it the same way, but it's very true. In our hairdresser world, the cost of our products goes up all the time. And also the rent that we pay as a salon owner, my rent that I charge for my stylist goes up every year because my rent on the building that I'm renting is going up every year. So the same thing. It's like I have to do this because it's part of what I have to do in order to stay in business and have a healthy business. And what I do for my team is I actually just did this week in our meeting. I have little video meetings for them. And in our one that I just had, I just share with them, it's going to be October. We're going to be going into holiday season. It's a great time to think about raising prices and figuring out what you want next year to look like. What are your profit goals? And if any of you want any guidance or help, let me know. I am here and I will sit down with you and we can figure this out for you so that they can get everything in order and be ready and prepared for the year ahead.
And that's why it's so important to communicate with their own clientele.
Absolutely.